Ayo, 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 yo. It's the MOE, yeah, that show, dope. Hangouts, the show where we shoot the shit, talk some shit, and do some shit. I go by the name of Simo from More of Everything Media, where no one's got us like us. And as you can already tell, same face, new space. We are at Level 9 Studios. We've landed here for Volume 3 of Dope Hangouts. Level 9 Studios, Las Vegas, Nevada. The home base, the place for your audio and video production. Shout out to the man, Scott V, for this. You already know what it is. And when I say no one's got us like us over here at More Media, when I say us, that is because I got another dope guest in the building at the Hangout. This woman is a poet extraordinaire. She is the author of the popular book Duel on Amazon right now, where you can cop that, a Reiki healer, and on your Instagram feed, you'll occasionally catch her twerking and working stuff. I got my home girl in the building, Brianna Florian.
Yes,
Brianna
that was great. That was
AKA
beautiful.
Bree Be Fresh. How are you doing today, my lady?
Oh my gosh, I'm so good. It's so nice to wake up and do something creative and exciting first thing in the morning or afternoon, whatever.
Exactly. It's pretty damn early and not used to it. I underestimated the traffic, but we made it here, right?
Yes, we sure did.
Here. It feels good.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming here. I'm really honored.
Of course.
Yes. Now, the last time we did officially meet, it was over when you were working at Snaps.
Right. And open mic.
Yes, the Snaps open mic that happens every Saturday, every other Saturday.
Yeah. Something like that. Twice a month.
Yes.
For the most part.
But ever since then, I just was following you on Instagram. I know I've seen you around before that, but I never really knew you. But seeing you on Instagram,
that's because I'm a ninja.
I feel like the people who follow you and that have never met you can really get a good sense for you, can really get to know you so much because you're honestly kind of vulnerable on social media. You like to be vulnerable on social media.
Right.
What makes you want to be vulnerable to these thousands of people that view your stories and view your page? Some of them that you may not have even ever met before.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, a lot of them I haven't met before. It's just kind of like level 1 of vulnerability. Really, it is. Because I'm not really vulnerable in person. In fact, I introvert and I don't really tell people what's going on and I feel like I can handle it all alone. And that's trickling from generations of women in my family that have felt like they have to do it on their own. So when I'm taking that on, I don't share anything with anyone. And social media is almost like this way to share what I really want to share, but not be completely vulnerable. So it's so funny when people are like,
oh, window type
yeah,
of
it's like a glass window, like, oh, you're so vulnerable. And it's like, but I choose to hit share or not to share. Yeah. And I choose to delete or archive. Like I make all those choices. So I'm actually kind of playing with my vulnerability a little bit.
I see. Yeah. I see. Just getting comfortable out there. So you're the type like you'll put yourself out there with your feelings and how you're feeling. But when we meet you in person, you kind of got to come out your shell a little bit. You're not going to give us that right away.
A little bit. Yeah. It steps, right? I get comfortable. I'm like, okay, this person can handle the weirdness. All right, let's see what we can let out now.
I wonder what the level that you give your family and your best friends, huh? It's probably like 100, right?
Oh, pretty high, yeah. I mean, sometimes higher than what they want. Sometimes they're like, please go somewhere.
Yes, and checking through your Instagram feed, taking a deep dive into your stories. I see that you set this highlight up when you were in Nashville. Are you from Nashville, Tennessee?
Oh my gosh!
And you're with your mom and you're visiting, and you had the best time of your life. And
that's funny.
Yeah.
No, my mom's in Nashville running the Top Golf out there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I went out to visit her. And actually it's cool because me and my mom have not had a relationship my whole life. And finally I turned 25 and I booked the ticket to Nashville and none of my sisters booked a ticket. And so it was like, wow, kind of awkward I was like, oh man, I have to hang out with my mom by myself. What am I gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Yeah. How are we gonna communicate? What are we gonna connect on?
Yeah.
Are you all you have all sisters?
Yeah, all sisters. There's 4 of us. I knew it's
total.
freaking nuts.
Yes.
Put a lock on your door.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad that you can go out there and make that effort to connect, especially with your mom. That's important.
Oh, big time.
Now, I wanted to ask, what about your pops?
Oh, my dad's great.
Yeah.
He's got his own thing going on. Like, he's got his own trauma and whatnot. And so he kind of distances himself.
So how's the relationship?
Oh, I mean, mine and my dad's relationship is fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I could call him anytime I want. The last time I was getting out of a relationship and I was like, Dad, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, pretend he is piss in the snow and nobody likes piss in the snow. And then he gave me these whole crazy visuals. Yeah, so me and Dad are good.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
What I want to jump into right now is you saying you're a Reiki healer.
Yeah,
that art,
level 1.
Level 1,
yeah.
That art of Japanese style healing. Now I know a little bit about it only because I'm an anime geek. They have some sort of Reiki healing in my anime that I love.
Yeah.
They put their palm to the person, to the area of pain, and it relaxes them, it decreases stress and heals, but just at the palm, at like this close to the area. Now tell me how you got into that and what made you feel that you can have this sort of chakra to kind of do this, because it's not for everybody. I don't think so.
No.
You have to have some type of understanding and chakra of it.
Yeah, well,
what made you fall?
Man, that's a good question because I'm not really sure like what the first breaking point of that was. But if I remember correctly, I have a friend named Taylor, and one day we were sitting at the tennis courts with a crystal, I think it was amethyst, doing our best to make it levitate. And the energy was just so strong in our hands. And there was another time when her and I were driving like miles through a dirt road to get to California, and we were starting to get uncomfortable. And so we got out of the car and we stood in front of the car with our hands together and we said a prayer to protect the car.
Yes.
And then we walked all the way to the back of the car, and this like power was so intense. By the time we got to the end of the car and went to go put our hands back together, we almost couldn't touch hands. The power was so intense.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that was before I ever even knew that Reiki was a word. Yeah, before I had any idea what was going on. So I was already practicing Reiki. I was in Red Rock, like meditating, and I would open my eyes to a rock or a tree and I would feel different energies. And I've always been an empath, well, a telepathic empath at that.
Okay.
And Reiki just kind of fell into my lap. One day I was getting a blood test. I was getting a blood test. It's so cool. This guy, Ken, will take your blood and he'll show you what it looks like right in front of you on the screen, and he'll talk to you about the different blood cells and what's
kind of like
going
under
on.
like a microscope.
Yeah, with a microscope. Yeah, and oh my gosh, it was so cool. And from there, I met Dennis and Candace, who told me, "Oh, we've got a Reiki circle every Tuesday," and I was like, "No freaking way!" And I started going, and then I got trained in level 1. And actually, I'm seeing Amanda tomorrow to talk about level 2 training. So I'm very excited for that. I have the goal to be a master by the end of next year.
By the end of next year?
Yeah.
Awesome. Wish you well on your journey. What is the highest rank you can be?
Master, definitely. But there's so many different Reiki modalities that people can practice.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Reiki is general, and there's, all these different subcategories that people can get into.
Shit.
Yeah.
That is dope.
Hell yeah.
So let me ask you this. What do you have to say to those people who honestly wouldn't believe in it? There's some people out there, of course, I was reading, just many comments on videos. People who don't believe it, they think it's BS. But do you have to have a sense of belief to make it work? Or what do you say? What would you say to those people who are I don't want to get this treatment because I don't.
Yeah, my thing is I don't really care to talk anyone into it. Becoming such an energetic being, I've learned how to protect myself, whereas before I was such a people pleaser, and now I really don't care. So if somebody doesn't believe, I literally tell them I do not care. I'm not here to convince you about anything. And I really strongly believe that each person follows their calling. And if they're called to Reiki, they'll go. And if they're not, I'm not here to argue. I have better things to do with my time. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to hear about it? Great. I'll talk to you later. Yeah. We'll talk about football or whatever the hell you like tomorrow.
That's a good standpoint on it. A lot of people can learn from that because a lot of people spend their time trying to battle somebody, especially on social media. They try to battle people into believing what they believe. And it's like, yo, dog, they're not into it. Just go ahead and keep it pushing with the people that you know believe in it and keep it pushing. If you are good at it and this works for you,
right.
It's all you. That person's missing out at the end of the day. At the end of the day. All right, poet extraordinaire.
Can you remember? I've got my book.
Duel in the building. Now, just of course looking at the cover art of Duel, I want to talk about that. It definitely, I love that. It definitely gives me a sense of that yin and yang type vibe and like different perspectives of one side or the other. Tell us about your cover art just for Duel. I want to start there.
Yeah, the cover art. First of all, the cover art is why everyone buys the book. I'm just gonna say. So shout out to my sister.
Flowers.
I don't know if it's focused on that, but there it is, my youngest sister, Gia, she drew this photo when she was in high school. She was in art class and she won a congressional award for this piece. And she had it hanging on her wall for so long that I remember one day going to her bedroom and we had never really been friends and seeing this piece of art and just like crying. And thinking, oh my gosh, Gia, I'm so sorry that I never I never praised you for your art and how beautiful you are and like what's inside. I'm so sorry that I never noticed that. And then when I wrote Duel and it turned into being a duel of my mind, light versus dark, these epic perspectives, this play with everything that I had going on. Yeah. And I thought to myself, the only thing that's going to make people look at this book, and that's because I didn't really have friends at the time, but the only thing that's going to make people look at this book is the cover. And so I've only got one chance. It's like any news article or blog or anything. You have literally one chance. You've got 2 seconds to grab a person's attention.
Yes.
And it came to me. It just came to me that used my sister's artwork. And I reached out to her. And at first she didn't. At first she was loving it. She's like, oh my God, she felt so honored. And then when I finally went to go pick up the art, because we weren't living together at the time, she had drawn something totally different.
Really?
To give to me to use as artwork. And I was like, no, you see, that's not going to work because this is what the book is. And then she's like, oh, okay, you could use it. And she's thinking like, oh, well, this part's not good on that part. And I'm like, it's perfect.
Right.
It's great how it is.
The life of an artist is just critique your own work, but it's awesome. It is awesome.
Right.
It is bringing a lot of attention to you. People are gravitating toward it. So shout out to Gia.
Yes, GG.
Bringing the attributions. And who's Dale, Florin?
Dale is my father.
Dale.
It's fine. It's fine. So when I told my dad that I was publishing a poetry book, he literally said that I could not publish it without his poems in it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, well, then you better send me your poetry because I've got a week deadline. And so he ended up sending me the 3 poems that he could find. And yeah, I put those at the end of the book was my father's poetry. So
you get that poetic spirit from him.
Yeah, from him and grandpa. Like my grandpa is passed and his spirit hangs out with me and he helps me write as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. What age did you kind of, did your dad kind of know?
Well, did my dad know?
No. What age did like, I guess he kind of pass it on to you, be like, hey, go ahead and write how you feel or like kind of just here's a notebook, what would you do with this?
Well, I was journaling as a kid because I wasn't talking to either of my parents and it was my only way to talk to them was journaling.
Okay.
And then when I moved in, I actually left a relationship. I was tired of being third dimensional, put my stuff in my car and said, forget all of this and went to Los Angeles. And I lived in my car, which was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I lived in my car and that's when I started writing. So it wasn't necessarily like being passed down. It was more so like me in that position of I have to let this out.
Yeah.
I have to. And this is my only way.
You've got to, because I feel like the poets, man, there's a song lyric about that the poets are just kids who never really got the time to vent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a Patrick Stump line, so shout out to Patrick Stump.
Hey.
Yes, kids who really never got to vent, because at the time, we were growing up, nobody told us about therapy. Our parents, they never told us like, hey, go to therapy, you need to vent this. They're just like, you're a kid, you're just this and that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you got that outlet. I'm glad that it turned into something big right now.
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, it's going everywhere. And I'm writing the next book, which is Truce.
Truce.
Yeah, Truce.
Okay.
So we've got the Duel of the Mind, and then we've got the Truce, where everything's coming together. I'm no longer fighting. Instead, I'm integrating. I'm integrating all of the different perspectives. I'm loving all of the perspectives. There's the truce. There's the white flag. Everyone comes together in my head and builds a nation together versus always fighting. So thankfully, I've been a part of so many medicine ceremonies that have helped me with that journey. Otherwise, I would never get to write the book.
And when do you think that's coming out? When do you think?
Well, my goal is June. My goal is June 1st of 2020.
June 1st?
Yeah.
All right. Hit those milestones. Can't wait to see it.
Word. Thank you.
Yeah, Duel is really cool. Just reading the pages here, I like how it jumps from like perspectives. We start out with lens of a child of what I see here, and then lens of an elder.
Yeah.
I really like how you put those into perspective, especially the lens of a child. What did we just say? Like, it just says, I can't choose my life now. I'm only 11. You can make a difference for the both of us, all of us. Like, is that you saying like, hey, why am I kind of like being put in this position? I'm like fully functional. I'm thinking. I have my own mind at 11 years old. Is that how you really felt? You were kind of like put in a box and told what to do. You didn't like that?
You know what? When I wrote, so something to be said is about the fact that we're all more than one person, right? There's like Sense8, which is a fantastic show on Netflix. But we are so much, like each of us are so much of our family, of our environment that we grew up in. And we're also so much of the people we interact with every day. And so when I wrote that poem, it wasn't necessarily writing it from my perspective as a child, but it was writing it from like channeling the energy of a lot of children. Wow. And feeling like, wow, a lot of children are feeling this. And me just taking a feeling and translating it in the words that I know, and the way that I know how to translate. And so I took that and I made that first poem.
Damn, and I'm sure that's why it's so relatable.
Yeah.
I didn't know you thought of it like that. I thought it was only personal perspective. So you took that and damn.
And I mean, there's a lot in there
writing.
that is personal. Like you'll see my name in a lot of the poems where I am talking to myself. There's some that are very personal, but then there are others that are very open, to what a collective was feeling versus just this is mine right here.
Damn.
Yeah, so I did a lot. I did a lot of play with perspectives in the book.
You also have a page that's love and war. Speaking of love and war, I want to ask you this: Did any of that manifest from a heartbreak? How does like heartbreak and pain motivate you to write something? Do you use that all the time to create? Because I know with poets, a lot of poets that I've seen, they always come from a place of pain to kind of help them get their excerpts out.
Yeah, mine was more of like anxiety than pain. A lot more anxiety than pain or anger. And so I didn't really have my heart broken because I'm the one who had left my relationship when I started writing after that relationship. And it was just because there were so many thoughts. There were so many perspectives in my head that were telling me like just constantly blabbing on and on about this is what it is. No, this is what it is. And finally I was like, oh my God, I just need to write this down. And so that's how I am. And actually I'm different. When I'm going through a heartbreak, I like hermit. And people will know that something like I'm really, really hurting if they haven't heard from me. If I haven't posted on social media because I'm so damn consistent. That's when people know, like when I went through a heartbreak this year, like a really, really deep, like traumatic heartbreak, I wasn't taking videos. I wasn't consistently posting on social media. I wasn't keeping up with my friends the way I wanted to. So that's kind of what I do. I actually don't release it in an artistic way, which is unfortunate. It's not until later that I'm through it that I'm like, okay, I can see this objectively and now I'm going to release in an artistic way. Because when I get too angry, I start to do crazy things like not write, like smash TVs and do a lot of other things. So, so I try to hold it.
Please don't destroy nothing. We don't want to see you out here getting caught up at all.
Yeah.
Please don't destroy nothing. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, speaking of when you say that you do take energy from a lot of different people, a lot of different things, you have a page called 1 Minute Interviews, right? Notice you ask people what something means to them, and then they send a video response to you, and you post it.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more, or for the people who don't know, about your 1 minute interview.
First of all, 1 minute interviews needs more love. That's what I'm saying.
I got you.
Okay, it needs a lot more love because everyone is like, oh, Brianna, we love you so much. I'm like, but what about everyone else? There's a whole page for them.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, the 1 minute interviews, it will definitely grow, but I want to have questions where I have hundreds of people submitting answers. I want to get to the point where it's so blown up that there's so many phenomenal answers that I'm having like 3 blocks of different people answering. And I'm posting stuff in the story, or people are posting it on their own page because I can't post it on mine. And I mean, 1 minute interviews all started from me starting to realize there were so many different perspectives in my head.
Yeah.
And I was inspired by someone in Los Angeles, and I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to start asking people what their perspectives are. And at first I was doing it without really like paying attention. It was more of an ego thing. More of like a void filler. And now, now when I do it, I actually hear these people.
Yeah.
And I listen to them and I pay attention to them and I respect them and love them. And it excites me to see their expression. It excites me to hear whatever it is that they have to say. And so I've been integrating Brie Fresh with 1 minute interviews. I noticed that that's working out better.
Yeah.
So I'll like think of a random question, post it on my Instagram story, and the people that answer, I'll reach out to them and say, hey, do you want to make a video interview? That's awesome. And that's what I've been doing to kind of like showcase that. And it's been working out pretty well. So
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, it's like a podcast without having to meet face to face. It's like an interview without having to be on the same line as the person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Where do you get your questions from? Do you kind of just think
just
of them
my
as
mind.
you're feeling?
Or whoever's mind it is anyway.
Well, we got a little bit of time here. We got 1 minute. Do you have a question that you may have had on your mind? You can ask me, and I can see how I can answer it to the best of my abilities. Let's see. 1 minute interview. Okay,
what's a good question? Let's see here. I feel like I have so many good questions, but I haven't thought about a new one lately.
If a tree falls, no one's around.
Oh my God, you sound like my cousin. She was sending me questions today, and I was like, stop it. You can't. No one's going to take me seriously. Well, you know what? My last question, and so I know my next question, because my last question are, what are your most favorable thoughts? My next question are, what are your least favorable thoughts? What thoughts are you fighting every day?
That's a great question.
If you only have a minute, I'm going to time you.
Let's get it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. Integrating it. All right, so.
Wait, can I record you?
My least favorite
with
thoughts.
My phone?
Yeah,
is that okay?
Hell yeah, you can record. Okay. It's collaboration right now. There's no one's got us like us.
Double shared content. Wow, this is so exciting. Super live. All right, most favorable thoughts.
Least favorable.
Least favorable thoughts.
Okay.
It's all good. Get it together, Brie.
It's early in the morning. Least favorable thoughts. Those least favorable thoughts are the ones that just come back to you and make you cringe. The embarrassing, awkward moments that I've had fucking 6 years ago, God damn it. And these things will come back and like just haunt me. It'll be the time where I made a fool out of myself at school, and it'll be the time where I kind of embarrassed myself in front of that girl that I liked. These things will just come back to haunt me. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have did that. Or especially the time, and you spoke about this, the time where I missed an opportunity. The time where I missed an opportunity, and I was in the moment. I was right there, and it didn't happen for me.
Uh-oh.
I was right there, and I missed it. I could have made it happen.
Thank you for your answer. I appreciate it. I love the co-collaboration. Look at us. We're doing things out
here.
Doing
the damn thing.
Yes, we are doing the damn thing. Meg, you know Meg the Phantom?
Shout out to Meg the
Yo,
Phantom. She's awesome. I see you been kicking it with her recently. What do you guys got going on?
Kicking it, man. That's my best friend.
Okay. So she got that level 100 Bree. She's got it.
Yeah, she
Meg,
does.
come on down to Dope Hangouts, man. Let's talk about Bree. Let's talk about Bree.
I love Meg so much. And yeah, so me and Meg have been meaning to write a song together.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just keeps coming up and keeps coming up. And I just have a lot of really good, like, exciting feelings about this song. So be on the lookout for that, y'all.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can already picture some acoustics in the background, and you're just doing your thing, and she's singing the chorus.
Well,
I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but
I don't know.
I just picture that as a songwriter, but that's beautiful.
I'm just
That's
pretty
beautiful.
goofy. I'm not necessarily like, it's going to be a goofy song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going to be more of a parody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So which is going to be cool because it's going to take Meg out of her norm. Because she's a very like loving, like love song, deep in the soul music person. And I'm like, fuck her. Oh, that's the one. And so we're going to merge those two and make something really cool.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear that.
Yes.
I cannot wait
How are
to
we
hear
doing on
that.
time?
Oh, we're doing great on time.
Oh,
yeah, we're doing
perfect.
amazing. We got all the time in the world, which segues perfectly. Thank you for that. It segues into one of my segments that I actually have been waiting to do with my guest here on Dope Hangouts, and that is News We'll Forget Next Week. Man, it's all the trends, all the jive that people are talking about, going crazy, going to war for today. That we're only going to forget about next week. And my favorite place to jump to for that is Twitter. I do want to go off of a tangent that you did on your Instagram, and I'm going to play it back to you. So I don't know if you after you post your things, do you watch your stories constantly? Do you watch your things after you post it?
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
I don't worry. I'm like that too. After I do, even my interviews, I'll be doing these interviews. I'm like, yeah, I killed that shit. But I don't watch it when they're on YouTube. The only time I watched it was when I was editing them. I don't watch them. I, of course, play them back, skip through, see what I can do, but I don't watch them. But we're going to show you yours. Trigger warning. This is a video that you posted on November 20th.
Generation you are that complains about millennials are so entitled and millennials think they deserve this much money and they don't deserve anything and blah 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 blah. Why don't you take some fucking responsibility for everything that you created in this world that made millennials pop out of the vagina feeling like they have to consume so goddamn much? How about you think about, you never stopped the war on drugs, you never stopped the war on oil, you never stopped the war with sex and pornography, yet you think that millennials are totally fucked up. We were born into this world after you fucked everything up. After you still don't take responsibility for what you've created.
Just one of many re-rants that we love to watch.
Yeah. When I was so angry, yeah.
But that's why the people rock with you, and like I feel like I know you so well because you just put that out there. You're not afraid to hide how you're feeling.
Right.
And with that being said, there's been this hashtag going around, right?
Okay.
Called OK Boomer. Okay, boomers.
Oh.
So it's millennials right now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, right now it's millennials versus boomers. We're talking the pros and cons of each, and people are just, even the boomers on Twitter have been going against the millennials. So I jumped in on Twitter to check the hashtag millennials first. I'm gonna jump to OK Boomers in a minute, but I found some great, funny shit on here that I wanna go ahead and read to you and see how you feel about it, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one starts with at Savage Boomer. This guy said, I launched my first business at 24, whilst also working part-time at Mrs. Jenkins' store, and could fix my own car. Don't at me, millennials. You brought this failure on yourselves. Savage Boomer, first of all, get your grammar right. Second of all, it's a different era, right? Is it not a different era?
Oh, he wants to get karate chopped in the neck.
He's battling your trigger warning.
Yeah, I mean, it's a total battle because honestly, it's just like I said, we were born into the world they created. And just like we are creating the world that all of our children are being born into.
Yes.
And that's why we as creatives are working so hard to make a world that it's going to be worth it for our children so that when our children come in, whatever generation they are, they're not talking shit about us. That there's not going to be any fight between their generation and ours because they're going to be so appreciative of what we did.
Yes.
Versus us who are like, oh my God, you suppressed sex and drugs damn near rock and roll as well.
Yeah.
You screwed us all over. Now we have to fix all your shit. And that's what I feel like we're doing. As we're constantly fixing these older generations' shit that they didn't take responsibility for, that they still don't take responsibility for.
No.
Now they act like it's our problem. Like, it is our problem. It is our problem, but we didn't cause the problem.
We were just born in it, trying to work through it.
Right.
And then they get mad when we don't understand. They get mad when they sound like, dog, I'm just learning in life. Like you got to teach me to right or wrong way, and then you get mad at me and hate us because we don't understand.
Right.
It's like, all right, we're gonna create our own. We're gonna create our own way.
Exactly.
And that's what we exactly do.
And there, I really feel like there's no argument when their generation didn't have to pay the way we did, that the consumption wasn't as high. And so we're constantly working to buy things. We're constantly slaving our time. And so, we can't learn how to do all of those things because it's not even possible.
Yeah.
Like, there are some of us that don't spend time on our phones and we do get a lot of shit done. But even with how much I get done, because I don't scroll social media ever, I still don't have time to learn how to fix my own car. Or learn how to properly do my makeup. I still don't have time for all of these things in the world that we live in. And that has nothing to do with millennials. And it doesn't really have anything to do with boomers either. The fact that we're even separating the two is like really ridiculous when we all just need to say, okay, this isn't working and we need to fix it.
You're right.
So.
You're right.
Yeah.
No, I hear that tenfold, 100%. It's crazy. It's like the only thing they did let us know, it's just, hey, trade your time for money. Hey, go ahead and go to college. Hey, you have to get married and settle down by a certain age. Like, no, it's different.
Right.
It's different now.
Yeah.
And
Free
we're
love.
still trying to work through all the bullshit that you guys brought us into this world with.
Yep. And and that's another thing too, is they were so suppressed. They suppressed and repressed their love over and over and over again. And that's something that we're not doing.
Yeah.
Like, our generation is not doing that. And so that's also pissing them off because we're all like these free lovers. We're bringing back like the hippie movement in a sense.
Right.
And it drives them nuts because they wanted to have control. And that's all it is them having control. And while I had control over all these things and now you don't have control over you and now I feel crazy. And it's like, chill out, dude. Everything's gonna be fine. We don't all need to know how to do everything.
Yeah.
Some people like fixing cars, others don't. I don't. Somebody else fix it for me.
I know, right? That's like,
Thank you.
Most people have those jobs, yeah. No, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh, I was checking the hashtag OKBoomer, but I ain't got no Wi-Fi in level 9. So let me jump back through here and ask you one more tweet through Twitter, and we'll jump to our next segment.
Okay.
Because I definitely can't wait to hear a brand new poem from you.
Yeah. Oh, and there's one thing I want to throw into after the tweet, and I'll throw it in, I guess, after you find it. Unless you want me to throw it in now.
No, go ahead and throw it in. I got to scroll.
Word. Okay, cool. So I just helped launch a terpene lip gloss company.
Okay.
Yeah, and so terpenes are a big thing as far as like activating different receptors in our brains that create different movement or different functions. And we've got 14 different functions, and some are for happy or for helping somebody work out, burn calories, lose their appetite, sexy or sensual. We've got alert and focus. And it's the lip gloss I'm wearing now. And it's called Smokin' Hotties. And so I work with the company, and I'm also an affiliate and a model for the company.
Wow.
So I'm kind of shouting out for really any women. We also have lip balm that's on the way. It should be coming in this week. And the lip balm will probably be launched maybe a week after that, as long as everything goes smoothly. So we will have something for the men, but I'm kind of shouting out for any men or women that want to reach out to me that might want to jump into the cannabis industry, because this is the cannabis and the hemp industry, but at something that's not being done at all. So there's a lot of leverage here. And then it's also something that the lip gloss works phenomenally for me. And it really does activate these different receptors in my brain.
I'm a big fan.
Beyond the placebo effect, too.
yeah,
I love terpenes. And terpenes are becoming a very popular thing. A lot of people are talking about terpenes in the past year, although it's been very prominent in our whole life. And just so everyone knows, terpenes aren't just from the cannabis and hemp plant. Terpenes are in hundreds of thousands of different plant species. And so that means millions of plants. And it's the smell that we smell when we're smelling grass or a tree or rosemary, like all of these different smells. That's just what terpene is, and it activates different receptors in our brains. So I would love to have a conversation further with anyone who's interested in that. They can reach out to me on Instagram or whatever.
Hey, shout her out. That means you, Savage Boomer. I don't know what you mean on these terpenes. It's not drugs.
You need some lip gloss.
Yeah. I love it. No, please, you guys contact Bree. And I can't wait for the men's products to come out. You know,
oh, me either. I'm very
definitely here a supporter of it.
Hell yeah, I'll hit you up.
All right.
Maybe we can work on a sponsorship.
Let's do it. I'm with it. That's how these things work. So, well, with that being said, let's just go ahead and segue. If you have any more input to put on millennials versus the OK boomers, man, leave some comments, man. I want to hear your thoughts on it, because that tweet from Savage Boomer is just the only one that we need today, because this guy's obviously got some shit going on with him. I want to jump through to the. As we wrap things up here, I like to do this as the speed round. To kind of take another. We're going to jump through an extra layer into the mind of Bree Fresh, all right?
All right.
I'm going to ask you some either or questions or just a random a statement, and you got to go ahead and answer as quickly as you can without thinking, all right?
Okay.
Yes, we're going to see. We're going to see what you're all about, Bree Fresh. I'm going to go ahead and start.
Thinking.
All right. Just Bree Fresh, like it hot or cold?
Hot.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Books or tablet?
Books.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Twitter, Instagram, or Snapchat?
Instagram for sure.
I think we all know this one.
Instagram's my shit. I'll be running Instagram soon.
Bree Fresh, holla. Pet peeves?
When people are angry for no reason and we can just smile. They dish.
Oddly satisfying to Bree Fresh. What is that?
Soft touch.
Okay. Religion or atheism?
Religion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. If you could, go ahead and give your thoughts on this one. If you could, you had two choices. You had the ability to do this. Would you end world hunger or find the cure for cancer? Only choose one.
Well, I would say neither one of them are completely real, but I would choose cancer. Yeah. I mean, people don't have to be hungry. They choose to be. It's a limit in their own mind. And people don't have to have cancer. That sometimes comes from the environment that these people are in, or the food that they're choosing to eat. So that can be also changed with, a lot of different things, but meditation and Reiki are two things that could help with world hunger or cancer. But I would say cancer is something that I would work with first.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. What's your social security number?
Hello, we are calling to tell you that your social security number has been suspended. You better call us back and give it to us now.
What is the end goal for Bree Fresh?
Oh,
what is
my
your
God.
end goal?
The end goal,
now?
Literally right before I leave this body, would be to have connected every single dot and had every single question that I've ever had in my mind answered.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is one of those questions?
Why am I so crazy?
You're unique. There's not a lot of poets that go on Instagram and have fun twerking to the Lizzo songs. And that's your girl. You do your thing to Lizzo.
Lizzo.
Not a lot of poets do that. You're not crazy. Shout out to all the twerking poets out there. You start a community of twerking poets.
Yeah, just twerking in general.
Twerking
Let's
and
get
reading
it,
their
Vegas.
poems.
Oh
Hey.
my God.
There you go.
That would be a challenge. Wow.
Yes. Hey, Bree. I really appreciate you coming through, especially
you.
at this time of day. You know, we got things set up such short notice, but it was an honor to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty. This was Dope Hangouts, Volume 3, and Bree Fresh in the building, man. The motto is no one's got us like us. Hey, Bree.
Yes.
Go ahead, really quick, plug anything that you'd like to plug before we wrap up here.
Well, I feel like we talked about everything but Who's Thought Anyway. So I've also got that Instagram and website, Who's Thought Anyway, which is based upon telepathic perception. So check that out. It's still under construction right now, but keep up with it.
Please do. And once again, I go by the name of CMO, More of Everything Media. Hey, you can hit us up, www.moreofeverythingmedia.com. Submit yourself. Come on to Dope Hangouts. Come shoot the shit. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. Promote you on this platform. Also, man, don't be shy. Go ahead and grab a MOE t-shirt or a Got Clout t-shirt. They are on the website right now. What else do we got? Subscribe, follow, hit the like button, comment. But if you don't do any of it, I don't give a fuck. Because we still gonna be here doing this shit anyway because we do it for the love.
Yeah.
All right? This is Dope Hangouts. We signing out. Peace.
I've slept with all my children, made love to whom I birthed in past lives, daydreams, and unfulfilled desires. I've slept with a few of my grandchildren, too. I can see and I had spoken reminded me of my place on the family tree. An original. Since they've all come from me, it seems I can only sleep with my children until I finally lay down with the ones who impregnated me. Those men are not the ones who need my love. It is my children who call my name. I heed the calling with haste, but I cannot stay, for a young bird must learn to fly on its own. They have been fed, as have I. From the love of my children, I will gladly lie to rest for eternity. That poem is untitled as of now, but it will be published in my book Truce by mid-year of 2020. Thank you all. Thanks for listening to Dope Hangouts. You're freaking awesome.